February 22nd, 2022 marked the 20th anniversary of the original Xbox releasing in Japan. Now, although Microsoft saw quite a bit of success with their consoles over the past 2 decades in the West, the same can't really be said about their attempt in the Japanese market. Now, I think a number of different issues are at play here, including stiff competition from both Nintendo and Sony, as well as a general disdain for the genres that define the console to players outside of Japan. Now, regardless, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Xbox in Japan, Famitsu put together a lengthy feature in the March 10th, 2022 issue, otherwise known as Weekly Famitsu number 1734, and this covered basically all of the Xbox console releases, sales numbers, and even some interviews with developers and on their feelings in the system and stuff like that too. While we usually stick to covering Nintendo-related gaming here, this is a pretty interesting look at how Microsoft has fared over the years here in Japan, so I thought it would be an interesting thing to kind of take a look at this, so let's go ahead and get to it. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Leave us a comment down below and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. Today though, we're talking a little bit on what 20 years of the Xbox in Japan has looked like up to now, and we're also going to talk a little bit about what the future holds for Microsoft here as well. Now, just to kick things off, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the sales of the Xbox consoles themselves and the top 10 selling games on each platform, all the way from the OG Xbox up to the Xbox One. Now, just to note here, these numbers are for physical sales. Digital sales are not provided in Famitsu, so please keep that in mind. Now, let's just go ahead and get to the numbers because honestly, I think they speak for themselves. Now, I think it kind of goes without saying, but this issue of Famitsu and this article, there's a lot of stuff that was talked about here. But, you know, while that is true, I wanted to focus next on some survey results that actually popped up in the magazine itself. Now, basically, Famitsu had opened up, like, basically some kind of special survey for Xbox fans or just gamers here in Japan so they can share their thoughts on the system and also give out other tidbits of information. I mean, it's pretty extensive, but below we have the first 2 questions from the survey along with the results. Now, in total, 337 people participated in the survey. Now, the first question that was posed here is basically, what Xbox hardware did you purchase? And you can kind of see the numbers here, coming from the Xbox original, going all the way down to the Series X, then down to the did not purchase, which makes me think, like, why are you even participating in this? But hey, it is what it is. And then from there, you have what is your favorite Xbox game, and I'll kind of just be quiet here so you can go ahead and have a look at the list yourself. Now, while I think the numbers obviously speak for themselves, Microsoft has had a hard time here in Japan with the Xbox. Things are kind of seeing a bit of an uptick here, though. I mean, Microsoft says they're committed to the Japanese market. You can see some evidence of this with the release of some of the marketing campaigns for Xbox Cloud Gaming. Xbox Series X and S sales have also seen some success in what is primarily a market dominated by Japanese consoles. Now, at the same time, to just touch on the number for the Series X and Series S systems, as of the time of the recording of this video, those series systems have surpassed the lifetime sales of the Xbox One in Japan at 157,000 units sold, according to Famitsu. Now, in a weird turn of events, and something that actually popped up in early January on social media, and special thanks to friend of the show, friend of the channel, Ginky_JP on Twitter. He's awesome. Follow him if you want the on-the-ground look at what things are like here in Japan when it comes to gaming. So basically, it's beginning to look like some of the consoles sold in Japan aren't actually getting into the hands of gamers domestically. Now, a Japanese Post basically reported PlayStation 5 and Xbox units being hoarded at various locations around Tokyo and then popping up and being sold overseas. Now, while yes, the systems are technically being attributed to Japan for sales data, that doesn't necessarily equate to the actual number of Xbox users in Japan. Not only that, but Weekly Famitsu sales reports show surprisingly low numbers for the systems sold throughout the country every week. Now, I can understand if Microsoft is trying to focus more on cloud gaming or something like that, but at least having an avenue for people in Japan who want to buy one of their newer consoles. I mean, outside of visiting a shop in Tokyo at least. I mean, Microsoft really could be doing a lot better here. Nevertheless, Microsoft is talking the talk, but I think for the Japanese market, it doesn't take a genius to figure this out, but Microsoft is going to have a tough road ahead of them. I mean, they're saying the right things here. They're bringing big-name Japanese games to their platform, via xCloud or just to the console. I mean, they're signing on Japanese devs and trying to get into the headspace of Japanese gamers with the release of things like Xbox Wire in Japan, which is like this Japanese blog geared towards, obviously, Japanese gamers. But I mean, the numbers being spouted off in press releases and tweets, and you see news reports from Western media and stuff like that. All this stuff can be pretty misleading. I mean, yeah, sure, the Xbox Series X and Series S is doing better than the Xbox One, but I mean, that was a console which was more or less abandoned for Japan. I mean, yes, they're saying that they're making Japan more of a focus, and they're offering more information about their products to gamers in Japan. I mean, on the other hand, when it comes to just Xbox, and brand just being in Japan, there's no Xbox branch in Japan. Like, all this stuff is headed by Xbox Asia and Asia Pacific, which is located in Australia. Now, I'm no marketing expert or anything like that, but it seems to me, if you want to get an accurate reading of the pulse of gamers in your target country, it might actually help to have some boots on the ground in that country. Even at the height of all their efforts, nailing down Japanese developed exclusives and stuff like that during the 360 era, the results just weren't there for Microsoft. I mean, it was unfortunate, but that was just the way it went. Of course, things may be different now. Who knows? Still, I think with their rocky relationship with Japanese gamers over the past 2 decades, it's just kind of at a point where we're going to have to wait and see if anything that Microsoft is doing right now will pay off in the long term. I mean, they have a lot of awesome things to offer gamers in terms of games and services, but it's really just kind of up to Japanese gamers if that's what they want. But let's go ahead and turn things over to you guys. What do you think about the Xbox performance in Japan over the years? Is Microsoft on the right track to make Xbox a success in Japan? Would you do anything differently about the situation if you were in charge? Sign up in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this video a like. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We've got tons of podcasts, video reviews, looks at interesting topics on the gaming world in Japan, and so much more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.